Hello guys and welcome back. This is Mr. Siege. Now in today's video I want to talk about positioning. That's right, positioning those siege towers. Now it's not always easy, and in fact a lot of the times this KVK, I'd say 99% of the times, positioning my towers has been very hard indeed. In fact, like getting a decent amount of skills off and in a decent position where you're actively firing off constantly, and it's just been few and far between. And as you can see in this one behind this bit of footage behind, I'm having to move constantly. I'm getting a few hits off and then I've got to move again. And the fact is that we're pushing the ball back too fast at this point. You know, we're pushing the enemy back and they're just basically running away completely. They get a few taps in and then moving away. And for siege towers, this scenario is an absolute nightmare. You can't get any action at all, and you're just moving around all the time, getting no hits in. And as you can see, it's a really awkward situation. All your allies are getting loads and loads of kills here. They're getting loads of fighting, loads of hits in. But me, no, I'm just moving here, trying to set up, and then going again. And you get to a situation where you get towards the cities, and then you know you're going to get targeted from cheeseburgering, and you don't always trade well from that. And as you can see now, I'm in a position where if I push forward, I'm going to get hit. So I've set up right near the cities. Again, I'm not even in a great position now because they're pushed right back into their territory. And if I push further into territory like I'm doing now, I'm extremely vulnerable, and that isn't an ideal scenario. Now in this clip here, I've decided not to really push deep into enemy territory because there's not many people around me. And previously to this, I've been pushing and I've been getting attacked out of the cities, and honestly, I've not had any help, barely whatsoever. Some people may hit, but they're just staying in contact with me, swarming me down. So I'm forced to stay in a position to help returning troops and try and pick off some enemy troops that are cheeseburgering. And again, everyone else is having a great time fighting in front of me, and there's not a lot I can do about it. Again, right on the edge of enemy cities, and there's a few people over here popping out, hitting enemies that are returning, which I can say obviously I can get a few hits on, which is fine. But a lot of the time you're not even firing an active skill, and you're gaining a very low amount of kills. In fact, barely any at all. But it depends how long they stay out the cities, really. So again, in this situation, it's really not ideal. In this next clip, you'll see a similar scenario where the ball isn't stationary. And when the ball's not stationary, you've either got to move towards the enemy troops or get out of there. And it happened so fast, I was just zoomed out, and before you know it, I'm pretty much getting swarmed down by a ball. And it takes so long to get these towers down, that you're going to get hit a lot of the time. Now again, when you think you found a perfect position, stationary balls, and they're just not lasting that long. It happens. Now, I want to know from you guys, is this what you get in your kingdoms? Or, yeah, because you see, when I'm watching 1960 and GV77 and stuff like that, 1606, their KVKs, they always seem to have huge bullfights that last forever, barely any movement until, one sort of falls back, but you can be fighting there for like half an hour or so. And that is when siege towers excel. But, I'm in an A seed now. And I just don't seem to get that many opportunities to really show what these towers can do to their full potential. So this ball, again, has been pushed back, and it was just one or the other. Like, we were pushing them back, or we were getting absolutely flattened by them. We could never hold a position. Now here you can see all our towers are set up here in one sort of tower ball, and that was great, although a lot of the time the enemy was out of range again. But in this scenario, everyone on the field has just fell back for some reason. I don't know why the field just completely disintegrates or just disappears. They seem to do a little bit of fighting or like burn a flag, and then everyone just goes back to the cities to refresh. And obviously when they do that, that absolutely messes up all your siege towers on the field. Now in this one, again, similar situation. Field seems okay, a bit overwhelmed on this right hand side. And it's trying to decide when you need to drop your tower back. You want to try and get as many active skills off as possible, obviously because you want as many kills as possible. But if you leave it too late, you get swarmed down. And if you go too early, your field may push them back, and then you've missed opportunities. Obviously, you want to try and make the most opportunities as possible. And for me, I'm kind of like a risky siege player. So I will stay as long as possible. I'll take many, many swarms that you've seen in previous videos because I want to try and get as many kill points for the short amount of duration we're fighting. You never know how long a fight's going to last. And obviously in this scenario, we've then got overwhelmed again. My John died as pretty much as usual. I may have got a few more active skills off here. Getting a swarm, you may get some more kills as well. But it is costly. It is more costly than what it should be as a siege player. But these are all the cons of actually being a siege player. It's never always perfect, and you can see all these times how being a siege player has not been great. Now, what baffles me is that people say that having a siege march is totally OP, totally broken, and it's honestly not just it's not the case. Like, you may have been in one kingdom. Tell me, guys, like, are you in a kingdom where you have the perfect opportunity for siege towers? Because this camp isn't now. Now, I'm not saying it's my kingdom, because at the end of the day, these camps are made up of 4 kingdoms. So they're all the same. They're all not being able to hold a position on the field with these bulls. Now, obviously, that just isn't ideal, and that makes Siege so hard to use. Now, it doesn't make a difference whether, I still enjoy using Siege, of course. Like, it's been great for me. Using Siege is so much fun, and it is hard. It just does my head in when people say it's easy and it's OP, and you just sat there AFK getting kills. And in this video, you can clearly see that is definitely not the case. I'm getting caught out left, right, and centre in these clips. And it just shows that being a siege player has its downsides massively. Like, I can get a lot of kills in KVK, but you know what? I do get through a fair decent amount of resources. I've got through about 15 billion resources so far, and I'm probably on about 37, 38 million kills, which, yeah, is decent. I'm running 3 full legendary siege marches, fully kitted out, and really good armaments as well. But look at us getting overrun here, as now you just can't do anything as a ranged player. And whether it's the enemy that are just fighting really well. I mean, this is 3379 who actually beat 60 GT in Ark of Osiris. No, that doesn't mean anything. But tactical wise, it does show they have got a decent tactics, to be fair. And I think what they do is they huddle up in a ball and push at the last second. So guys, this is me, Mr. Siege. Hope you enjoyed the video. Now remember, if you do like Pokemon and stuff like that, go and check out my second channel, Extra Siege, and opening loads and loads of Pokemon packs at the moment, pulling out some fantastic hits, proper decent cards that I'm going to sell, get graded. And if you're into that sort of stuff, go and check it out. Anyway, guys, see you in the next one, and bye bye.